Hi, everyone. Grab a seat. Get close. Come into the center. I want you to make sure you have a close look at these amazing presentations. So, if you're sitting on the periphery, come on in, join us, get cozy. It's great to see many familiar faces. Great to see some new faces here today. We know we have hundreds joining us on the live stream. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us in person. And for those joining virtually, really appreciate everyone being here. Before we get to the who, what, why, how of today, I just wanted to start with the agenda to make sure that we are all aware of what's coming over the next couple hours. So after these opening remarks, we're going to jump right into the meat of the program today, which is our presentations from our 5 terrific finalists. These are ReVital Vision, Vision Science Labs, Machine MD, Optolytics, and Lens to Recycle. We're really excited for them to share their stories and their pitches with you today. After that, we are going to have a fireside chat while the judges deliberate. We are going to share with you these new early stage exciting innovations and startups. And we wanted to balance that conversation with some insights and takeaways from a pioneer in the vision care space. So we can kind of look at the new and the current and the future as we look ahead to kind of shaping the future of vision care. We're going to announce the winners after that fireside chat and then have a reception following. So let's start at the first 2 words of the VSP Vision Innovation Challenge. Let's get to the who. So who here in the room has vision care, vision benefits? Great. Who here has VSP as their vision care, vision benefits? Awesome. Now, who here, after those hands went down, just thought, VSP. Wait, no, I actually have it, but I'm now too late to put their hands up. There's always 5. Good crowd. All right. So VSP Vision is the largest health-focused vision care company in the US. Our purpose is to empower human potential through sight. We do that through several complementary businesses. VSP Vision is the largest vision care company in the US with 85 million members and 41,000 network doctors. We have VisionWorks, a chain of optical retailers. Perhaps you've been to the VisionWorks location here in the Southgate Mall. We have Eyefinity, which is the largest EHR platform for optometrists. Iconic, which is our e-commerce platform. And we make frames and eyewear, Nike eyewear, and Ferragamo, and a handful of other brands you're familiar with. All of those businesses work together to deliver on our vision to create a world where everyone can bring their best vision to life. So as an addendum to the who, there's also the VSP Global Innovation Center. We are a small but mighty team within VSP set up to serve as VSP's lens into the future. Our role is to source perspectives and capabilities beyond our areas of expertise. We do that through emerging technologies, new business exploration, and strategic connections within the innovation ecosystem. We are set up to be a hub for reimagining the way eye care and eyewear are delivered to the world. We do that by leading a variety of projects and programs that are designed to bring outside shifts into our enterprise's line of sight, combining external innovations, which you'll see a lot today, with in-house industry expertise to explore and analyze and surface new ideas, solutions, products, and models. One of our programs, we do a number of programs. These are programmatic activities meant to inform and educate our internal leaders, our stakeholders, you, our audience, on these key outside shifts that are shaping the future of vision care. One of those programs is our Futures Reports. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. You can find them on vspvision.com/innovation. Twice a year, we publish a report looking at a trend or topic that is intersecting with and impacting our industry and adjacent industries. Previous report was on the future of generative AI in healthcare, and we just published our latest report, The Future of Senses. So take a look at that today. Our latest program is the VSP Vision Innovation Challenge. This was a program we were thrilled to launch with our partners Matter, the leading healthcare innovation hub and incubator based here in Chicago. And I forgot to mention, we are here today in 1871, which is a leading startup innovation hub and incubator here in Chicago. So we are excited to kind of host this event with our leading partner in the healthcare innovation space within a broad innovation leader here in Chicago. So this program was a 6-month program to source, spur, and support solutions that are elevating the eye care patient experience, culminating today in a live pitch event. I'm spoiling a little bit of my final address, but I've been trying to avoid the word culmination because it's not the end. We hope that by having everyone in the room to get them excited about where the industry is headed and what's possible, where the potential is, that this is the beginning of more conversations. So our kind of objectives as we think about this program and how it can serve us and our industry, we wanted to make sure that it can amplify our commitment to leveraging innovation to elevate optometry, that we can use this as a program to platform and support startups and technologies, enabling private practice and patient success. We want to use this as an opportunity to explore and develop new partnerships, and we want to bolster our visibility within the broader healthcare innovation community. Those are our objectives, and that kind of exists within a program proposal. But I wanted to pause here and kind of underscore the why of this challenge, the why that kind of sits over why everyone is here today. This is not unique to specialties or categories within healthcare, but oftentimes vision can be slow to innovate. And there is so much promise and so much potential within this industry due to recent advancements in artificial intelligence, virtual and mixed reality. The eye has always served as a window into full body health, and these technologies are helping elevate and expand the role the eye plays by turning that window into a skylight. So to deliver on that promise and that potential, we know that there's a need to collaborate and to work with new innovations, new technologies, new startups to help platform and bring those ideas to the broader community. So as individuals who are here today at the VSP Vision Innovation Challenge, you have now been deputized into that process. You are now a part of advancing the industry through that collaboration. So again, really appreciate everyone being here today. Quickly into how kind of the program came together. This was a conversation we started with Matter back in February. We launched the challenge, an open call for startups. We have startups joining us from all across the United States, from Israel, from Bern, Switzerland, a global call for innovations advancing and elevating vision care. We sourced through all those applications in May, June, and then announced the finalists at the end of the month. And then we had a 4-week startup boot camp where we connected them to internal resources and mentors and expertise to help them refine their pitch for today. We started with a challenge statement. So to help everyone in the room understand really what we are asking, what we are looking for, the question was simple: how might we enhance the eye care patient experience? We had kind of 3 guardrails, 3 kind of pillars that we were looking through. One was around empowering patients. Does this solution enable patients to proactively manage their eye health? We looked at scaling access, and does your solution increase patient and provider access to novel eye care solutions and experiences? And then we know that the patient eye care experience is delivered through the provider. So we looked at solutions that are aiding optometrists and providing that elevated patient experience. So we had a number of companies come through. We identified 30 submissions that we really got to be, and we pulled in partners many who are here today to help us source through those applications. And we ended up with 5 terrific finalists that you're going to hear from today. So I wanted to end quickly with, we knew heading into this, we weren't going to cut corners. We always knew we were going to have a great group of judges, but when the cohort really clicked into place, we kind of realized we really need to up our game for this group. So we did just that. I don't envy their job today, but we have a group that really matches the promise and the potential of the cohort you're going to hear from. So I wanted to introduce the judges. We have Gina Konstantakopoulos, who is the Senior Director of Partner Engagement at Matter, where she develops the strategy and implementation for partner programs, including accelerators and internal innovation initiatives such as this one. We have Tunde Ekinaranye, who is the associate with Seven Wire Ventures. They're a Chicago-based early-stage healthcare venture fund, and Tunde focuses on investments in digital healthcare and technology. Previously, Tunde served as a senior financial analyst at Honor and in the health and life and sciences practice at Oliver Wyman. Jeff Poe is the co-managing partner of Sanitas Advisors, a strategic consultancy serving eye care industry strategies and innovators alike. A hospital and physician practice management veteran, Jeff has 30 years of executive business leadership with leaders such as HCA, US Oncology, and Mednax. And lastly, we have Jay Anderson, the head of emerging technology with the VSP Global Innovation Center, where he leads a team of technologists looking towards the future for the technologies, partners, and insights that will further our mission of empowering human potential through sight. Previously, Jay had held leadership roles at Ford Motor Company and Thomson Reuters, focusing on emerging technology and strategy. So those are our presenters, our judges, that's the agenda. We have the background and the infrastructure to hear from. The last thing I want to end on is you, the audience. What is your role for today? We have really one objective, which is to expand your thinking on the industry, what's possible in vision care, and what the future can look like. Again, because you're in this room today, because you're watching on the live stream, you are now invested in the future of vision care, and we want to collaborate and work, and you're gonna hear a lot of that today throughout the program. So lastly, when we wrap up the presentations, we'll have the fireside chat, we'll have some audience voting, which you'll learn a little bit more about from Casey, and then we'll have a reception here. So with that, I wanted to call up Casey to kick off the program. Thank you all for joining us here in person live, and let's get started.
All right. Thanks, Phil. Hi, everyone. I'm Casey Sheridan. I've had the pleasure of working with Will, Zach, and the rest of the VSP team over the past several months on this program, and it's so good to have you all here in person today. For those that aren't familiar with Matter, we're a global healthcare incubator and corporate innovation accelerator headquartered here in Chicago. Our mission is to accelerate the pace of change of healthcare, and we do three core things in service of our mission. First, we incubate startups. Since we were founded over 10 years ago, we've worked with over 1,100 startups across the ecosystem, helping them to build their businesses, to connect them to customers, and connect them to capital. Secondly, we host a lot of events. We like to convene folks that are interested in healthcare innovation and transformation, much like yourselves. And lastly, we are a corporate innovation accelerator. So we work with over 70 partners across the ecosystem. Think your leading payers, health systems, pharmaceutical companies, and more, helping them to solve their problems through innovation, as well as build out their internal innovation capabilities. So that's a little bit about Matter and our background, and why we're so happy to be partnering with VSP on this program. Okay, so on to today's program. Like Will said, we have 5 fantastic finalists who are going to be presenting their solutions. They're going to be pitching for 7 minutes, immediately followed by 5 minutes of Q&A with our 4 judges that Will introduced. We have 3 prizes. The first place winner will receive a $10,000 cash prize and a year-long Matter membership. The second place will receive a $5,000 cash prize as well as a year-long Matter membership. And then, kind of like Will alluded to before, you all will have a chance to submit your vote for audience choice, who will also be winning $5,000 and a year-long Matter membership. So that is how the next couple of hours is going to unfold. Without further ado, let's get into our first presentation with ReVital Vision. Here, if you want to come on up.
Good afternoon. I'm Yair Yahav, CEO of ReVital Vision. I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me to present. We are a digital health company, startup. We offer a unique solution that utilizes neuroplasticity to improve vision. I've dedicated the past 12 years of my life in developing this solution because I was amazed to see the impact it had on people's lives. And I strongly believe our solution will impact the way vision is treated today. There is a huge unmet need of hundreds of millions of people with poor or insufficient vision, which cannot be further improved by existing vision treatments. It includes amblyopia, beyond the critical age, patients with low vision from various eye diseases, and unhappy post-cataract and refractive surgery patients, which in many cases are emmetropic with 20/20 vision. There are also patients with a minor refractive error who would like to be less dependent on glasses. Current vision treatments are focused on bending light rays and restoring the anatomy of the eyes. Our solution is to teach the brain to see better. ReVital Vision improves vision by enhancing the brain ability to process visual information, resulting in significant vision improvement beyond current treatments. We offer 3 main programs to improve best-corrected vision in amblyopia and stable pathologies beyond the critical age, to improve contrast sensitivity and facilitate neuroadaptation post-cataract and refractive surgery, and to improve uncorrected vision in patients with a minor refractive error, near or distance. The product is a prescribed home-based vision training app that effectively stimulates the brain visual cortex. It's algorithm and cloud-based technology, which is tailored to patients' specific need. Following a standard vision exam, the clinician prescribed the treatment and set the patient up on a cloud-based portal. The patient trains 3 times a week and completes 30 to 40 training sessions at home and returns back to the clinic for a follow-up exam. The clinical outcome are significant vision improvement, 100% in contrast sensitivity functions, more than 2 lines on the visual acuity chart, and many amblyopic and nystagmus patients improve stereo and binocular functions. Our key advantages: we are the only FDA-cleared product with efficacy claim to improve amblyopia age 9 and up. We received 2 new CPT codes for the treatment of amblyopia. It is clinically validated in multiple clinical indications, and it's very easy to use. There is no hardware. ReVital Vision is based on solid science. The software uses proprietary vision stimulation technique that induces a high neural response in specific neurons in the primary visual cortex. There are 27 clinical studies proving the efficacy in different indications, 11 published in peer-reviewed scientific journals, 7 of them are randomized control studies, 5 additional RCTs are ongoing. I would like to share with you the clinical outcome of 2 recent studies. A congenital nystagmus study presented in April at APOS meeting in Austin. It is a randomized control study versus sham group with 6 months follow-up, age 9 to 55 with best-corrected vision between 20/40 and 20/200 at baseline. The outcome are significant improvement in near and distance VA, 23% of patients achieve functional vision, and 88% gained binocular function. A keratoconus study presented at the recent ASCRS meeting in Boston. It is a randomized controlled study versus sham group, patients age 18 to 55 with best-corrected VA between 20/40 and 21/100 at baseline. The outcomes are 2.5 lines improvement in distance VA, reaching functional vision. Imagine the impact on their quality of life. Our business model is B2B. Clinics subscribe to our platform to be able to offer the treatment to patients. The standard amblyopia subscription plan, for example, offers 90% gross margin to our providers. The post-cataract and wellness programs are also available online for direct purchase by customers. We have more than 100 active providers globally, 12 US active providers, 6 of them are with VSP network, with 4 being premier providers. Our US providers engage us independently to VSP. Our team includes experts in software engineering and marketing and a clinical team that works with our customers, eye doctors, and patients. We have a very experienced board of directors, CEOs from the industry, and world-renowned clinicians on our scientific advisory board. So the opportunity for eye care specialists is to address a real need of customers with eye diseases and vision impairments beyond current practice, to provide effective treatment with significant impact on vision and life quality, to increase patient satisfaction, and to add additional revenue-generating service with minimal efforts. I would like to share with you an emotional moment captured live on camera. So this was the reaction of a girl when her twin sister with nystagmus and albinism revealed her vision test results to qualify for a driver's license. They both grew up knowing this is an impossible mission. Sorry for the dog barking, he was overexcited too. We are raising now $6 million, Series A round, primarily to scale up our business in the US market. We already have a lead investor, and we are looking for additional investors to join. Thank you very much.
Judges will take your questions.
First comment. There we go, first comment. Really excited to see that you guys have the clinical studies and the peer review. So just love that that's there and for us to be able to take a look at for the practitioners. And to make sure that I'm clear, your goals here are to retrain our brains so that we can see more effectively. Is that accurate?
Exactly, yeah.
Then I wanted to get into reimbursement, my apologies. Help me understand what the 2 CPT codes will allow practitioners to do, and is that for any practitioner, just for eye care practitioners?
It's for eye care practitioners. They need to examine vision, so they need to be able to do the refraction, etc. There are 2 CPT codes, category 3, so they are not priced at the moment. The first code covers physician time and the supply of the device, the supply of the software license. The second code covers physician time. So each visit, the physician will bill on 2 codes. One is E&M and the new ReVital Vision code.
Hi, my question is more, how do your vision care specialists find out about your solution? You talked about business to business being kind of your core approach to the market. How have you gotten your customers to date, and how do you see that expanding?
So most of our customers heard about us through congresses. So while presenting clinical studies on the podium, we also exhibited in some of the international congresses or in the US congresses. So we did minimal marketing so far.
Do you tend to expand that approach?
And now we just did the initial closing of a round, so we are going to expand now in the US. We have recruited our local US manager, Charles Morris, who spent the past 8 years global brand director in Cooper Vision, and we are going to present in congresses. So we need to educate the market, the professional market, and at the same time do effective B2C marketing. Welcome.
Maybe to speak a little bit on the C side of B2C, as you're thinking about the consumer journey, I'm just curious, how are you working to drive adherence, right? I think you mentioned there's about 30 or so sessions that a user has to do over 2 to 3 months, something along those lines.
Yes.
It's a decent amount for somebody to spend 30 minutes 30 times in that period. So talk to us a little bit more about that, if you don't mind.
So the short answer is that there is high compliance. We tested it in our system on thousands of patients. I think the average was 33 sessions for 90% of the patient. The longer answer is it depends on the pain and their alternatives. Many of our customers, for example, they are just 1 or 2 lines from qualifying for a driver's license, for a profession. For them, it doesn't matter how much it costs, they would just do it. Those who just purchase online the post-cataract program, you'll see less compliance among those patients, which is very cheap to buy. And yeah, it's basically their need.
So perhaps as you think about the need of the consumer, how do you overlay that with the market size that you're looking at, right? So folks that are highly motivated with very significant eye issues, right? What does that look like in terms of a TAM?
So we believe the practitioner, there are 2 programs that are only available through eye doctors. It's the amblyopia and the pathologists. So patients, with keratoconus, post-cross-linking, 1 year, and they don't have functional vision with their best optical correction. Some of them are using scleral lenses. Some of them can only tolerate glasses. To be able to help them with another 2.5 lines, they are highly motivated, many of them, especially if they have poor vision in both eyes. We know that amblyopia, for example, most people are used to this condition from early childhood. Maybe 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 have a high need, and it's qualified. Still, it's a huge market. It's between 500,000 to 1 million patients in the US only, those who are suitable. So there is a huge market, and we need to decide only on the B2C where we are going to focus. We are going to pick up specific indication. This is some of the things that we are going to do in the next 2 months to finalize that. Welcome.
Does the training that you do last, if you will, in perpetuity, or do I need to come back to retrain every couple of months or year?
It forms new lateral connection on the synapse level. So once there is stable improvement, in most cases, clinical studies, published studies show stability post 1 year and 2 years. And we have a study now submitted to publication with 5 years follow-up.
And to tag on that one, sorry, Jay, where do you fit in terms of myopia? So I'm thinking about the younger patient and the progression of myopia. Does it work as well there for our young patients?
So first, the indication for use is 9 and up. It's difficult for young children to comply and to focus. We have no claims on impacting the progression of myopia. There is an old study that was done showing a clinically significant reduction in axial length and refraction post 1 year. So it could be interesting to test in the future, but you need large data for a long time to have some claims.
We'll take one more quick question from Jay.
Thank you. So I guess I'm most curious about the B2C product. Is it something that you need to do on like a desktop? Like or could you do it on mobile, or is it a laptop? Will that suffice? What is
Good
the
question.
technology requirement?
For now, only large screens, so you need 15 to 26 inches. It works on iOS, Windows, Linux, but larger screen for now. Okay. Thank you very much.
Great job. Next up, we have Vision Science Labs.
Hi, everyone. My name is Edward Marcus, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Vision Science Labs. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company and how we can change the eye care industry. But first, I'm going to go into a story that reflects some of the issues that people face in the eye care industry. So Dylan waited months to get care. Like 170 million Americans, he skipped seeing eye care because, well, he didn't have insurance. He was on a tight budget, and he had a busy schedule. But Dylan needed immediate care. This is Dylan. He's a young guy. He thought that his vision is perfect. He's an independent photographer, so vision is a very big part of his life. But one day he noticed that he had an anomaly in his vision in one of his eyes. So he eventually goes to an optometrist. An optometrist tells him, you know what, everything looks fine, and I'll refer you to an ophthalmologist. So he waited 3 months and eventually went to an ophthalmologist, and the ophthalmologist said, you know what, everything looks fine on my end. So Dylan thought, well, maybe this is something that's in his head. Maybe it's something that will just go away. Well, Dylan is now blind in one eye. He was diagnosed with an optic nerve glioma, which is a tumor that was growing and impacting his optic nerve, leading him to go blind. And this is something that is preventable and treatable with early detection. And Dylan is not alone. There are a lot of people out there that have a missed or delayed diagnosis, just like Dylan. So 80% of global blindness is preventable and treatable through early intervention. This is something that Dylan thinks about a lot these days. So we're on a mission to make eye care, to improve eye care, make care quick, make it immediate. Also provide high quality care in order to prevent vision diseases and blindness from occurring. So what we developed is an AI-powered eye care platform. So you would go in, it's guided by an AI, which means that, okay, it'll ask you questions, you can ask it questions. It'll eventually take you through an intake where we have vision screeners that we've developed. And then with the results, you can share them, you can store them, share them with the doctor, learn about your eye health, and also learn about other care options. So what makes us unique is our AI. It's multidisciplinary in multiple fields of medicine, but also in fields of service. So we not only want to improve outcomes, but we also want to improve the service offering to the patient. We've worked very hard on our vision screening technology to make it hardware-free, but also make it very accurate. So we've completed an IRB research project, and it's currently being used by the Berkeley Optometry Clinic. We also have advanced care options. So these are options that doctors can prescribe to patients that sort of go beyond general eye care for things like vision therapy and myopia management. Within the eye care industry, we see ourselves as the on-ramp to care. So if you're a doctor or a hospital, the main goal is to pre-screen for timely interventions. If you're an insurance company, it's to attract new tech-savvy consumers, address issues before they escalate, and also reduce long-term healthcare costs. We also have the ability to screen for other eye care products. We connect providers and patients. We don't sell directly to patients because we think that having the provider as close to care as possible yields the best outcomes. So we have multiple products. Our main screening platform we sell as a B2B product to providers. And then we have multiple management and therapeutic modules for things like vision therapy, myopia management, and dry eye management that we sell as a B2B patient pay product through a provider. We have a fantastic team. We not only know how to build a very good product, but we also know how to build a company around the product and have the ability to move it forward. So me, myself, previously I had an AI startup in South Korea, which is where I met our COO, Mike Andrews. Michael Hun, he's the CEO of CalOptima. He loves our product, and he's really the guy with enough clout to drive us forward in the medical industry. And then Adil, our neurologists from Yale, along with our advisors, ensure that our product is well-researched and meets the highest clinical standards possible. We're asking for a $2 million seed. So with that, we want to, first off, jumpstart our MVP product, in which we plan on, we estimate making 2.1 million in ARR. Sorry about that. I thought I turned my ringer off. 2.1 million in ARR by the end of the first year. We also want to incorporate more services, more devices, and eventually 510(k) approval through the FDA. So we've been bootstrapped. We have had a revenue through a controlled private beta. We've also been sort of in stealth up until this point. We have a lot of clinicians we've spoken up to about the product who want to use it with their patients. We have a lot of patients who have used it and they really enjoy it. So we know we're doing something right in the software side. And very recently, we completed our IRB approved research project that focused on the accuracy of the product. So in summary, we have a very good AI data moat. We have a lot of unique data from our years in vision therapy that is just not publicly available as a data set to train an AI model, and we can train our AI model with that. We have a very good market position as being the first point of contact in care. And we also have a global impact. The way I describe the global impact is with our pre-screener, if everyone in the world was to do it, we could decrease blindness by 80% globally. Thank you very much. I'm ready for the Q&A.
Hi. So I'm wondering, like, it sounded like that there's like a triage use case, the monitoring conditions over time. Like, where do you see, or like when you talk to doctors, like or are they most excited about? Like, what kind of use case are they most excited about?
They're excited about, well, a couple things. This is a product that when they sign on to our platform, they could use this to outreach to new patients, but also offer an advanced care options for their existing patients before they come in. Also, the report is very useful so they know that before the patient comes in that, okay, they might have dry eye. So I'm gonna check that out and see if they want some eye drops, for example. And then it's also just the idea of being able to pre-screen patients as well. Even if they don't come in, maybe they see something in the pre-screener that says, you know what, let's call them up and let's get them to come in to get this thing checked out. So.
Have you thought at all about kind of a marketplace model? So using the kind of screener, pre-screener AI as a way of lead generation for a marketplace of, vision providers.
Right. Yeah, that's actually how the main platform works is, so the doctor will be able to pre-screen patients, but also have the ability to sell our additional modules. So we've been doing vision therapy modules for a very long time, and this enables doctors to be able to add a service offering for vision therapy where they couldn't offer it before, as well as to offer the myopia and dry eye management parts to it, all on the same platform.
I have a question. In your story about Dylan, there's kind of two parts of this. If he had Vision Science Labs available to him, is it that your solution has more clinical accuracy and would have captured his vision issue, or just that the timeliness and the access was the point that you were trying to get there? I want to know how Dylan would benefit from your solution.
Excellent question. Yes, so it's both of those. So he could have checked his vision early, and the AI is very robust. So in his report, it could have showed him, okay, so potentially you could have had an optic nerve glioma. And then when he shares that report with a doctor sees it, that's something that he could have been referred over to. So ideally, in his case, when he eventually went to the ophthalmologist could have said, you know what, I see optic nerve glioma, let's get you to do an MRI just to make sure. So it sort of catches things that the doctor might not be able to catch.
So, question about, so he's out traveling, right? And he's got his eye issue. You're showing us tapping into this resource via what I imagine is a desktop type of device monitor. Can we use a computer, a tablet, an iPhone, any type of device will work, or does it need to be a large scale type device?
At the moment, we require a minimum of 10 inches,
Okay.
but when we incorporate hardware into it, we'll be able to do it on a phone or a tablet.
And then I think, just as you guys plan, will that affect some of the people that you potentially have access to? Because not everybody has a large 10-inch or plus device, right, immediately.
Right.
So just one of those planning pieces.
Right. So actually, our goal was, because when we were doing vision therapy, it required red-blue 3D glasses, and we wanted to keep the hardware at a minimum and not use a VR headset, which makes it a lot more inaccessible to do it. So we've spoken to some NGOs to do eye exams in rural areas, and this is the type of solution that they really liked because it didn't require any hardware to do a pre-screener. But if you want to do something like vision therapy or an advanced vision assessment, you would need just red-blue 3D glasses.
And then another question, I'm curious a little bit more detail on the potential revenue models that you guys are looking at. I understand you're still in formative stages, but how much am I paying out of pocket, if you will, if I'm testing from home? And what does the doctor potentially make or not? How are they going to be compensated for their time and energy?
So the platform itself, it's sort of like, it gives the doctor the ability to offer our products, but it's also a network. So we can do lead generation for a doctor to make it more enticing for each doctor. As far as the consumer goes, we've been doing it as a patient pay product so far. So we'll usually sell like a patient account for $100, comes with glasses, and then the doctor resells it to the patient for about $400.
Do you know when your IRB is going to be finished?
We just completed the IRB research for this, so now it's on to the next steps for publication. And then we have other advanced assessments that internally, they work very well, but we want to get IRB research for those as well.
That is all the time we have questions for today.
Okay, thank you.
Great job. All right, next up we have Machine MD.
Good afternoon, we're Machine MD, and our mission is to radically improve the measurement of brain function. Can you see my screen? It's blurry, right? So blurry vision or double vision is a huge cause of concern for Americans. Each year, over 100 million eye exams are performed, and the chief concern with which patients present to their primary care provider or optometrist is blurry vision. In the best case, all that's needed is a pair of corrective glasses. But if you look here, you see how blurry vision can actually be a symptom of different types of problems. The upper half pertain to issues affecting eye structure. However, the lower half pertain to problems relating to the way in which your brain is processing visual information, that is, eye function. And these are the concerns that Cleveland clinicalists as requiring referral to a specialist like a neuro-ophthalmologist for further workup, and in some cases, it requires urgent care referral from the PCP. Unfortunately, there are over 8 million Americans living with vision disabilities today, and many of these could actually be due to undiagnosed neurological conditions. However, how do we empower the PCP in better identifying eye concerns that could actually be linked to neurological disorders? At MachineMD, we acknowledge that the eye is indeed the window to full body health, and that is why our objective is to empower the primary care practitioner through objective eye exams in being able to better make this decision. In this way, we can increase their efficiency, reduce clinical error, and improve a patient's overall quality of life. Our solution for doing this is called NEOS, the world's first neuro-ophthalmoscope. NEOS leverages advances in virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and infrared eye tracking to measure eye and pupillary movements. It's easy to use, as you can see here, and does not require a trained technician to operate. It also comes with a cloud-based platform that enables remote diagnosis and has telehealth capabilities. Currently, NEOS has been programmed to conduct 8 standard eye test protocols that assess these different aspects of eye function in tests that are less than 3 minutes. We have our first VSP pioneering optometrist, Dr. Graham Stetson, who's using NEOS in his clinic in Norwood, Massachusetts. He believes that it's a great tool for elevating care and enhancing the role of the optometrist through its easy-to-use functionality and quantitative visual reporting that allows to understand what's going on in the brain that's affecting eye health. It's also a great tool to scale eye care access by allowing providers to move beyond their reports. So now they can look at conditions like gaze overshoot, extortion, and nystagmus direction, all documented very clearly through NEOS's high-quality visualizations, which make referrals easy as opposed to relying on written notes and then faxing them. It's also a great tool for empowering patients and educating them about their conditions. So now patients can take matters into their own hand and make decisions for themselves, especially if this involves going to see a specialist located in another direction, located in another location. Instead of waiting on the issue to get worse, they can now actually take that step more proactively. For the main market that we're targeting, we're looking at the neuro-ophthalmology diagnostic space, valued at $1 billion, which falls under the larger neurodiagnostics and ophthalmology diagnostics markets, both of which are combined valued at $15 billion and growing steadily each year. Our business model involves pay-per-use for cash pay services for our different NEOS exams, as well as leveraging existing CPT codes for ophthalmology and neurology that can be built for reimbursement. To understand our model better, in case of an optometrist, it would involve buying the hardware for around $1,500 along with the software subscription, and then paying $10 per NEOS exam. But when the practitioner is billing it, they get a minimum profit of $25. So in this way, not only is NEOS enhancing the offerings of an optometrist, but also guaranteeing an immediate return on investment. In terms of our current and future outlook, in 2023, we developed NEOS's MVP, we verified and validated it. We also started collecting data for across different normative groups. And right now in 2024, we filed for our US patents, and we launched as a Class 1 registered medical device. We've also identified several key US KOLs and also onboarded them. And we started different clinical collaborations at top US universities, as well as pharma partnerships. As we move forward, we want to expand on NEOS's use cases, particularly looking at neuro-ophthalmic biomarkers for neurodegenerative conditions like multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, neuroinflammatory conditions and rare disorders like neuromyelitis optica and myasthenia gravis. We're also looking at emergency medicine and telehealth triaging, particularly in rural areas. Our goal is to bring tertiary level expertise to primary care centers. We're currently raising our Series A round for $15 million and have already secured a $6 million convertible note. Till date, we have secured $9.7 million in total dilutive funding. Our team mainly consists of doctors, scientists, entrepreneurs, and engineers, and we're also expanding our US team. We recently onboarded Dr. Joseph Rizzo, who's the Director of Neuro-Ophthalmology at Mass Eye and Ear Hospital, affiliated with Harvard Medical School, and Dr. Robert Sergott, who's a veteran neuro-ophthalmologist and very influential in neuro-ophthalmology space, associated with the Wills Eye Care Center and the Annals Eye Brain Center at Thomas Jefferson University. The sites out here that you see in orange are the sites where we're undertaking clinical collaborations, as well as where we have pioneering physicians who recognize the value of NEOS and have already secured their device purchases. All of us in our team are united by a common mission that's highlighted here by our neuro-ophthalmology co-founder, Dr. Matthias Abeg, that is to democratize the specialist knowledge of neuro-ophthalmologists like himself that took 15 years in the making to enable earlier diagnosis of neurological disorders. We're very grateful for our supporting partners and sponsors highlighted here in the right, who believe in our mission and vision and have supported us so far. Our ask for today is to connect with further pioneering physicians and PCPs, practices, and institutions who would like to be early adopters and use NEOS. We also want to connect with investors as we are raising our Series A round, which will be closing next year. And then we also want to connect with payers, pharma, and educational institutions who might be interested in doing research with NEOS. And with that, I would like to thank you for your time.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what in the clinic you're replacing today? So what are providers using to try to achieve what Machine MD is achieving, ostensibly much simpler and in an easier way?
So what providers are currently doing are manual exams, things like follow my finger, look up, look down, and then based on what they're seeing, they're reporting it. Now, this is a skill that's learned. That's why you have a specialist who's a neuro-ophthalmologist trained in both neurology and ophthalmology. And when there's a concern, the provider has to flag them over to a neuro-ophthalmologist. Now, the thing is, there are only 400 neuro-ophthalmologists in the US. Some states don't even have any. So then they have to refer that patient to another state, all to confirm, is this a problem that has to be ruled out? Yes, no. A lot of times that even has a faulty MRI that has to be redone all over again. So what we're doing is bringing this tertiary level expertise down to that primary care level with reporting, which will be useful not only for that primary care provider in flagging a concern, but also the tertiary care provider in being like, okay, bring this patient in immediately versus I would recommend this MRI. So we're also facilitating more conversation because currently what's being done is providers are literally faxing over notes, which sometimes cannot even be understood by them. And you don't have anything that can replace this sort of examination because it's done manually. So the thought is, why should I do this manually if there's an expert who can do it? But that expert is not always present to do it.
My question is, you mentioned in your presentation that Machine MD looked at things like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and brain tumor. These are all incredibly complicated areas that often require specialists within them. Does your solution differentiate between those, or is it more like a decision support tool saying this patient needs something further and further analysis done? Can you explain how your solution parses that?
Sure. So a lot of these conditions that I mentioned do start at the eye level. So they are specific biomarkers that a trained neuro-ophthalmologist can identify and say, these are concerns that are linked along with the other symptoms that the patient is presenting to Parkinson's, for example. So if we have a patient coming in with their history, if you do this exam along with other examinations, you can immediately get a full comprehensive picture of what's happening with that particular patient. Additionally, when you want to look at new drug treatments and see if it's improving a patient's overall health, a good way to do that is through eye biomarkers, because the way Parkinson's affects one person is not the same as it affects another one. But these days, we just pull in all that data together. So not only can you detect early signs, but also track the patient over time. And currently, this is being done by neuro-ophthalmologists. So if a neurologist sees a patient, they will then refer them to neuro-ophthalmology to confirm, and then they again put that in together. So we're just taking that expertise down to that earlier stage where you don't have to ping pong the patient among specialists if it's just these couple of tests that have to be looked at.
Thank you.
And maybe building a little bit off of that one, so will an earlier diagnosis of neuro-optometric diseases further overwhelm neuro-ophthalmologists because they're getting more and more evidence that's being pushed to them, or can the optometrist truly manage these patients with what you guys are able to share back with the OD?
Sure. So actually, these days, neuro-ophthalmologists are overwhelmed with false concerns or false positives. So for them, they actually spend more time in looking at patients who don't need neuro-ophthalmology care as opposed to looking at patients who do need it. So if it's a report that could be sent over to them, and they can just confirm, okay, that looks like something serious, send the patient over, versus this is not a concern, go ahead with care as usual, that would be something that would be useful for them. Because again, as I said before, there aren't enough neuro-ophthalmologists in the whole country to take care of problems. And the current problems they're focusing on is false positives.
I think it was Dr. Stetson, I don't remember, your doctor. How has his patient flow been impacted by using your technology, and how's the staff interacting with that, and is it causing any slowdowns, or frankly, is it allowing the patient to move through the system easier?
Yeah. So actually, Dr. Stetson has a small practice. It's only him and 3 others, 2 assistants that help out. So actually, this tool has been really useful because there's Mass Eye near hospital where Dr. Rizzo resides, and it takes people mainly like at least 6 months to get an appointment with Dr. Rizzo, even from the state. So when he has a concern like this, he can immediately flag and say, you know what, this is not looking like your normal optometry patient. And they mentioned they had all of these other concerns. And he's the one who said with the visual reporting, he can directly send over a patient with this concern to Dr. Rizzo's office. And that way, even Dr. Rizzo himself appreciates that because he doesn't have to be overwhelmed with a patient who may or may not have a problem and can focus on the other ones, especially those coming out of state, to help him.
What's the initial go-to-market focus for the business? Is it optometrist offices, primary care physician offices? Talk to us a bit about how you're thinking about going to market.
Sure. So as we're looking at our device as a referral care system, more so than just a one-stop only solution, we're looking at optometry offices who do come across patients as concerns. So for Dr. Stetson's office, for example, a lot of times children are referred to him who seem to have learning disabilities or other problems, but it's actually a concern that could be due to something that needs to be referred to an ophthalmologist. With this system, it's easier for him to do that. Also, if it's a system that if he needs to refer to neurology or neuro-ophthalmology, it's easier. Then we also have ophthalmologists who do refer patients to neuro-ophthalmologists because they're not trained to look at these conditions. And also for a neurologist, a lot of times they have to send patients to neuro-ophthalmology, especially in the emergency care setting, to rule out problems. And that's where patients get stalled. So with this sort of reporting, it's helping people not only at that primary care level, but also at the secondary care level. Because at the end of the day, there aren't enough specialists to address everyone's concerns. But if you have this sort of triaging system, it helps everyone out.
How long does it take to do one of the exams with the headsets? And then in your testing, how well tolerated have patients been with putting something on their face through like a headset?
Sure. So the exams over here that are listed, we have 8 protocols. All of them combined take 11.5 minutes if you want to do the whole sleuth. But if you just want to focus on few tests, and the shortest exam is going to be 3 minutes. And it doesn't really impact anyone so far. No one's really complained about like motion sickness because the hardware that we're using is from a Finnish company that specifically designs their systems for like fighter pilot training. It's not something that's openly commercially available like a Meta Quest Pro. We have a relationship with them, and because of that relationship, we can get these high quality headsets. That's another reason why we can capture fast eye movements because we are operating at 200 hertz. But the other commercial headsets that are available operate at a max of 120 hertz. So they're limited in the ability to conduct different sorts of exams that we can actually do.
All right, great job. Next up, we have ophthalmologists.
Thank you so much, VSP and Matter, for organizing this. And thank you, all of you, to join us on a rainy day. My name is Avas. I'm a co-founder of Ophthalmatics, and I'm gonna talk about our innovation in eye care. So ophthalmology is an artificial intelligence-powered disease detection technology. Let me start with a problem. Diabetes is the fastest growing chronic condition in the world. 37 million Americans are diabetic. 96 million are pre-diabetes. Unfortunately, we have a shortage of retina specialists. Every diabetic patient is at a risk of a vision loss. Unfortunately, the richest country in the world, 65,000 people are going blind every year, with 2 million people have a partial vision loss. Sad story is that 95% of this blindness is preventable. How? By early detection. Here, this is a challenge, and this is a huge opportunity where we can innovate together. And here is our approach in artificial intelligence that I want to demonstrate. But here I want to share one interesting story. We have our first customer in Northeast region 2 weeks ago, and we actually demonstrated our technology and we deployed. During a training session, Dr. Ashad, who is a family practice physician, patient comes, they take a picture, they have a camera, they take a picture. Dr. Shad, who's 25 years of practice, but he don't see any signs of any disease or anything. I just said, click AI fundus image analysis. He clicks that, and then that was an aha sign. Oh, wow, oh, this is something happening. So this is just a quick example of what our solution is. So let me go to our solution, what we have. We have built an artificial intelligence-based technology that can integrate with multiple cameras, device agnostic, meaning it can integrate with any camera, population agnostic, meaning artificial intelligence has been trained on diversified patient population across the world. One other thing I want to highlight is it is easily integratable. We have all of the DICOM and HL7 integration, so we have a very quick time of integration. Now, just to add something, we are not an artificial-only company. Please focus on this. This is a very, very important thing in the eye care or medical industry. We believe in human plus AI. AI alone, I'm not advocating as of today. Maybe after 10 years, maybe, but not right now. Our core principles are explainability, trustworthiness. Explainability, trustworthiness, and the most important is how you are accountable for in diagnosis. So what we bring is, we bring artificial intelligence to empower healthcare physicians, healthcare professionals, eye care professionals, and that's what we are bringing, a new era of eye care. This is what I'm talking about. We are bringing artificial intelligence to empower eye care professionals and a new era of primary eye care with assistance via AI. So we make eye care professionals confident enough to make decisions or take a second opinion in hand in very quick and easy fashion. Also, we are solving another problem of sharing a knowledge within primary cares, ophthalmologists, and multiple other specialties. One of the important things to notice here is we are encouraging patients to use optometrics as a gateway to the overall comprehensive eye care. All these exams are reimbursable. We are charging different at a different level, talking about a little bit about the business model. In the primary care level, we have different reimbursements. At the eye care level, we have different reimbursements. It's a SaaS service, so we don't have anything. Everything is on the cloud. We have very high profit margins, and also it's very easily maintainable and available service with any vendor and a camera. Now, one other thing I want to highlight, one aspect is clinical side. We also leverage AI in image quality and all other camera-related image quality analysis as well. Now, this is a loaded slide. It's a very busy slide, but we are very busy also. Just want to tell you, just 3 years ago, when we started this company, I coded the original neural networks sitting in my basement. At the time of COVID, I didn't have anything to do. Since 3.5 years, and now if I see, we have achieved tremendous results. And the potential that I'm seeing every second day of this startup is growing. Now, we deployed our technology in 102 hospitals, diagnosed 120,000 patients by now in a low regulated area that is Asia. I'm originally from Pakistan. Blessed, we have playgrounds where we can experiment the technologies. Out of those 120 patients, 56 would have gone blind. They got prevented from going blind and got treatment. We used some of our, we actually implemented in charity hospitals, and we are proud that we already have a huge impact in the community that need eye care. Now, main thing, it's a whopping $20 billion market overall, and we're not stopping at diabetic retinopathy. We have published 1 publication already, 97% sensitivity. We are publishing 2 more this year. By end of December, these will be published. 1 more also within US being published. Now, diabetic retinopathy is our first stop. Cardiovascular risk assessment. We're moving to cardiovascular risk assessment pretty fast. Applying for breakthrough device in FDA. And also, you name it, after we have multiple other disease pipelines in. We have partnerships with multiple healthcare organizations. NVIDIA named our company as an innovative company. We are blessed that Amazon Web Services named our company the Healthcare Equity Award winner in 2023. They invested $220,000 as cloud credits. We are a part of ATDC. We are a graduate company of CDL last year. We are working with big camera manufacturers also. So we have multiple partnerships. We have IP strategy. We have already 3 patents. 4th is coming. Actually, applied, we are patent pending. Now, just want to tell you one more thing here. All this ecosystem is basically growing every day because we are building a flywheel of artificial intelligence. Why? We have some of the data coming from low regulatory countries like Pakistan. We're talking in India. And then that data and diseases are actually building our flywheel every day. So our AI is getting more smarter, and we are pushing all those intelligence in hands of eye care professionals. So that's our overall flywheel. Now, if you want to build world-class artificial intelligence, you need to have world-class professionals. We are blessed. We have top retina specialist in America, talking about Cleveland Clinic's Peter Kaiser. He is leading our artificial intelligence advisory board, and actually subject matter experts. So we are not engineers who are building AI. All these people are joining us. Arshad Khanani, who is leading our SAB board also. So we are blessed that we have top retina specialists and top artificial intelligence people in our team. Now, this ecosystem is eventually growing every day, and we are closing the gap within artificial intelligence guys and healthcare professionals. So with that, I just want to tell you what is our ask today. All that we have achieved so far is pre-seed or angel round. We are raising $1 million to expand, to grow in the US market, and also multiple other markets. Any question? Thank you so much. I would like to invite Garrett, who traveled from Colorado, my new colleague, so he can join me in answering any questions.
So just to confirm, what you've built is pre-FDA approved and is not a diagnostic, but is a screener?
I loved your question that I wanted someone to ask. So we are not diagnosing anything. We are making fundus image analysis and highlighting the pathology. This is one of the unique approach in any other company in North America, because we are not claiming a diagnosis. We are making a fundus image analysis and highlighting all the pathologies and giving in the hands of optometrists or doctors to make a decision. In this product, we have another product, just to highlight, we have already applied with FDA, that is autonomous for screening, like all other companies have done that. There are multiple companies have approved already. So that is in FDA pipeline for diabetic retinopathy only.
There we go. How does your software get loaded onto the devices in an optometrist office, and will it work on an OCT?
Great question. So we have a DICOM integration. So the cameras that we have, we will be having, by the way, another camera. There's another company we're saying it's a handheld camera. And Garrett and myself will be here. If anyone is interested to do an eye exam, just a demo, we'll be here. So what we do is we do DICOM integration. So it connects with DICOM, everything on the cloud, but DICOM integration, and then we have HL7. So any DICOM compatible camera, like for example, we have done a 10,000 patient study in Pakistan. They have a TopCon camera. So they integrated with a DICOM server. So it's a built-in integration. There is a pipeline that we will deploy. There's a small device, chip, that can be attached to the camera, but that is a future pipeline.
And then if something goes wrong down the road, are we contacting you to help figure out what's going on, or are we contacting TopCon or Optos, I think was on your slide? Who do you engage with, and is that part of your service model that you guys are considering?
Excellent question again. So we are exploring both models, but our channel partners are camera companies, so they are first level of defense. So they will just get the call and they will just do everything, and then if they cannot, because we are training them with our AI and everything, integration, if they have second level of support, will be our team. And also, by the way, we are also leveraging our sales channel as some of the camera partners, so that we don't have to go in, build our own sales force as an initial go-to-market strategy. But in the long run, we will have our own, once you guys invest some money here.
You mentioned some of the patients in Pakistan and the studies that you've conducted there. You know, the power of AI is in how many people your data is pulling from. I'd like to understand that a little bit more. And also in diabetic retinopathy, are these just standard patients that are being screened, or are these known diabetic patients where you're watching for progression?
I want to answer this question with a very alarming situation. We are sitting in America. That's an excellent question again, because it will help me telling you the story. People in rural Pakistan, and this might be true in other countries, they don't, once they get screened, they have a severe diabetic retinopathy, and then actually their vision is blurred, then they know that they have diabetes. So we are doing a camp with some of the population, they don't know that they have diabetes. Rural people, they don't know. So we are doing autonomous AI, and also we are doing rural camps. That is a real impact, and we are proud of that. Like, revenue, funding is secondary thing. First thing is impact on the human lives. And we have a lot of publications. Actually, we are in the news in Asia, and we have all the things to show if anyone needs a reference. But I hope I answered your questions. Over there, it's integrated in hospitals where there are only 2 ophthalmologists for around 1.5 million population. So they can't do screening at all. And that's a low regulatory barrier, so we have to deploy, start getting impact.
Maybe just a quick follow-on to that. So to understand, when you're talking about these rural camps, are you doing this on a mobile basis, or they're still going into an eye doctor to get the screening? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, there are multiple models and multiple population, like in metro areas. We have a partnership. By the way, we'll be publishing a new paper from Aga Khan University. This is one of the reputable universities. We are just publishing. We got phenomenal results, and we are just publishing. So in the metro areas, eye care professionals are bridging this technology as like within endocrinologists and eye care professionals, they are just deploying this technology as a bridge. But in the rural areas, it's totally autonomous, where they don't have any eye care professionals. Actually, they don't have any physicians available. So they just, we are working with few NGOs. They're just deploying the technology and detect the diseases and bringing that population to the hospitals. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
I noticed in the pricing model that there was some differentiation between the price charged to eye care professionals versus primary care. Could you tell me more about that difference?
Sure. Great question again. So the challenge with the primary care market is that they have to purchase, it's a greenfield market, they have to purchase the camera. They don't have the cameras available. So large organizations like IDNs, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you. You please go ahead. If you have any question, interrupt, answer. Okay, sorry. So I'm just answering. IDNs are basically the more lucrative opportunities because if you have 80% of your diabetic patients screened, HEDIS payments provide a bonus payment at the end of the year, and that is a huge payment for if you have a large organization with high volume patients. Now, primary care market is already, they understand this, but optometric market, to be very honest, we are looking for some mentors also. Anyone want to contribute to us? It's a huge opportunity, but we are we're trying to stabilize our business model. So as of now in the optometrics, because they already have devices, they just need a quick integration in EHRs, and we have integration ready. So we need to build further model. So it's a per click, per patient pricing we have as of now. And we have multiple other models, and we can go a little bit more detail. Like if you find out any disease using our pathology analysis, AI fundus analysis, we have a model where we can get a percentage of your reimbursement. That is a second model.
All right.
And everything is a SaaS service, SaaS software as a service, so we have a good.
That's all the time we have for. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Okay, last but not least, we have Lens to Recycle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Menard. I'm here with Lens to Recycle. Thank you. Lens to Recycle has the first smart contact lens recycling appliance that fits nicely in your home. I want to first thank the VSP Vision organization for giving us the chance to be here today and to speak to you. It really is a privilege, so thank you. It takes just 5 seconds to make a significant impact with a decision that you make every day. Just 5 seconds. I've worn contact lenses for over 50 years, and I've experienced these 5 seconds myself many, many times. Plastic production is a big problem. I think we would all agree that we're learning more and more about the risks to human health, causing cancers, lung disease, and birth defects. So have you ever considered how much plastic waste is generated from your contact lenses and packaging? It may surprise you, it certainly surprised me. There are 48 million contact lens wearers in North America who purchase 15 billion single lenses. This is approximately 18 million kilograms of plastic. So picture this, that 18 million kilograms of plastic, or 40 million pounds, is the weight of 9 fully loaded space shuttles each and every year. We all agree that recycling is important, yet a staggering 93% of contact lens wearers are not properly recycling. What's more alarming is that 20% of those contact lens wearers are throwing their lenses down the drain, which break down into microplastics, entering our land and waterways. Even if I throw this waste into a blue bin, they are too small to be recycled and end up in landfills or are incinerated, further adding to environmental impact. So what's happening? Well, current recycling options are highly frictional for the consumer and very time-consuming for the recycling provider to sort and process this waste. And we at Lens to Recycle, we can change this. So here you have it, the first smart contact lens recycling appliance that fits nicely in your home. So this is my 5 seconds, what it will look like with Lens to Recycle. In the morning, I will put my aluminum foil and blister package into the unit, push the button, and at the end of the day, once I've removed my lenses, I will drop the lenses in the back of the unit. Lens to Recycle is a closed-loop solution that captures my waste and specially designed waste cartridges that can hold 3 months' worth of my contact lenses and blister packs. Every 6 months, it will automatically schedule a pickup and send me replacements. So what will happen with all this waste stream we've created? Well, the blister packs will be reused for future Lens to Recycle units and waste cartridges, and researchers are investigating into using the contact lens polymers themselves to create wound bandages. So how does it work for the eye care professional? Lens to Recycle creates a closed-loop data insight with usage and reordering capabilities. It will collect not only environmental impact data, it will also collect blister usage data. This is an industry first. This data can be used for patient commerce with the eye care professional. We are entering a $5 billion initial market of daily disposable lens wearers in North America. We are targeting these daily disposable lens wearers that want to do good and will either purchase a Lens to Recycle unit for $249 or subscribe to our program for $15.95 per month. We are projecting to sell 90,000 units with 60,000 subscribers, resulting in $32 million in revenue by year 5. So you may be asking yourself, well, will anybody pay for Lens to Recycle? Well, climate tech product purchases are real, and consumers wanting to do good is real. If you look at TerraCycle, they offer these zero waste boxes that are used to capture hard to recycle items from your home, pricing from $81 to $591 for the box. They grew their revenue last year by 18% to $16.2 million. And then we have Mill, a smart food recycler that will cut down food waste generated in the home. You can purchase a Mill for $999 or subscribe to it for as low as $20 a month. In 2023, they sold over 10,000 Mill bins. We are looking to currently raise $500,000 in a pre-seed round to fund the next 12 months of milestones, which are to complete the engineering and development of the unit and to launch in the first consumer market. And here's our roadmap to that first consumer launch. This current quarter, we hope to be able to complete our funding milestones. Next quarter, Q4, we'll launch an e-commerce store with the first product launch in Toronto, Canada. And in 2025, we plan to launch across the rest of Canada and a launch in the United States. I think we have the team that can tackle this problem. With over 70 years of marketing, sales, and operations experience in the contact lens industry, and over 25 years developing SaaS products, we believe we are well prepared. Myself, I've been in the contact lens industry for over 40 years with marketing and sales management experience in North America and globally. Our founder, Kelly Curry, created the patient commerce platform Sightly. Sightly grew to over 300 practices, servicing more than 50,000 patients and facilitating over $15 million in contact lens revenue. So my 5 seconds, I feel, is something that should be very easy for millions of other contact lens wearers to do. If you want to make a difference with your 5 seconds, please come talk to us, or scan the QR code and join the Lens to Recycle community of waste warriors. Lens to Recycle is the first smart contact lens recycling appliance that fits nicely in your home. Thank you.
Can you talk to us a bit about kind of margin profile of the business? So how much does it cost to manufacture, Lens to Recycle, the receptacle, and then you already told us a bit about kind of the pricing structure, but it'd be good to hear about it in margin form, if you don't mind.
So certainly the costs at this point are certainly at a higher level since we're definitely in the initial growth stages of building this business. We wholeheartedly like to be able to expect to be able to get our cost of goods down to below where we're getting a minimum 60% or more margins. Right now, is the product line, though, it doesn't have a presence within the consumer market, so we really, unfortunately, don't have enough volume to really define a true cost of goods yet at this point.
And then another question that's a bit separate. In addition to kind of launching through an e-commerce site, have you thought about selling through other channels? So optometrist offices, so on and so forth.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. There's no question that the eye care professional will be part of the approach in the marketplace. Certainly partnerships with organizations, and in particular forming partnerships with the brands themselves is part of the strategy moving forward. Again, for us to be able to get into the market, prove success, develop really more than what we feel can be an initial 1 or 2% of the contact lens wearers who want to adopt this. Certainly the brand positioning will be really important for us long term.
I have a question. One of the diagrams that you had showed earn reward points. And, obviously this is a daily activity that you're asking people to comply with, which is a different kind of compliance, maybe do good compliance. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're looking at that incentivized behavior?
Yeah, thank you. Certainly rewards are part of the business model, where again, every 6 months there'll be a pickup of the waste cartridges. So at that 6-month point, with the return of those 6 months, then you will get a reward, and it's built in our business model. Much like in the contact lens industry today, rewards are based on purchases, and the continual purchasing of waste cartridges will continue to earn rewards, and it's built in our business model. We're calling it an environmental reward.
I love that you're taking on, I'll call it the manufacturers. I was going to call it ugly little secret, but clearly it's a big topic. I'm curious what the blue bag represents. Is that a year's worth of product or your household, multiple? I'm just curious about that, and then I've got another question.
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, that represents enough waste from 5 contact lens wearers over a year. That is over 9 pounds of plastic waste in that bag, representing approximately 5 contact lens wearers.
Got it. So if you were to take that and put it through the system, what would the size of the byproduct be? 1, and then 2 is the byproduct, once it's been recycled through your system, does that also then break down into some sort of forever chemicals that are also going to be difficult for the planet to absorb? And I'm just curious about the longitudinal aspect.
Yeah. Well, this is a closed loop solution. So when the waste cartridges are picked up, they're going to go to a processing center in which that plastic is going to be repurposed and used to produce more of the units and waste cartridges. To answer your question about, well, what is the size of the waste that's been created? We certainly have a unit here, and we can show you later on. It's a little pod about this size that holds about 3 months worth of the plastic that's being generated through the system. So what you would see here is you would probably see the equivalent of being 5 wearers. That's 15 to 16 waste cartridges about this size.
And then one more question, sorry to hog it, guys. In terms of the data element and the collection of the information that's going on, is there an opportunity for the optometrist that's writing the script and doing the work to put a patient into a pair of contacts? Do they have any revenue share in that? I'm just curious what the opportunity might be for the OD in this marketplace.
Well, certainly with our founder, Kelly Curry, who created the Sightly platform, the expertise is there with him to be able to understand how you create for the practitioner an online resource for their patients to be able to order contact lenses on, in which case the eye care professional in the traditional model, they could establish their own pricing models, And of course, based on their purchases through either a distributor or direct from manufacturer, the margins they would realize from that could be theirs through that model.
That's all the time we have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody hear me okay? Great. That is it for the 5 startup companies. I've been so impressed with them since we took them through their boot camp. Their presentations have been fantastic. And I also want to say Matter has done such a fantastic job, and we've had such a pleasure working with them throughout the entire Innovation Challenge. And with that, we are going to move right on to the next segment. We wanted to also highlight a company that we feel has done an incredible job. So we are going to be bringing up the head of the Global Innovation Center, Ruth Yomtubian, as well as Brent Rasmussen, the CEO of Visibly. So if you two can please come up, we are going to be bringing out the chairs here to be able to have a 30-minute conversation about what it's currently like to be innovating in the eye care industry. Fantastic.
Thank you. All right, we realize this is a very tight 2 hours, so this is your permission to stand up, but don't take any steps forward or away, but just stand up. If you forgot to breathe, this is also your chance to take a deep breath. There is, you're gonna get a bonus here from someone who I would call myself an innovation expert. You cannot innovate, you cannot change, you cannot have room for new ideas if you do not create the space for new ideas. And I'm pretty sure we just heard a lot of new ideas, yeah? So we need to make some space for Brent, because Brent has taken new ideas out successfully into the market. He is very effective, and I can't wait to kind of download with him for you all and for the benefit of the entrepreneurs, not only in this room, but we have hundreds of people online right now that are just finding out about the power of vision care and the opportunity here. So your last second to just put your arms out, take up some room, shake it out. All right, and with that, we will have this quite speedy, but I'm sure dense conversation with Brent. So as Zach and Will prepared us all, the Global Innovation Center, we are not only VSP's lens into the future for VSP, but also for our providers and for our members and for our brands that we work with. And at the Global Innovation Center, we truly are a Global Innovation Center. We have team members from all over the country, and we, I think, exhibited that with the startups that were here from all over the world. So it's very fortuitous that we're in Chicago. I'm used to kind of being in the Silicon Valley realm, but I think we did a good job expanding out to the home turf of one of these successful innovators out in this industry. As you all heard, Brent is the founder, or is the CEO of Visibly. He and I was very fortunate that I met him early in my time at VSP, that I got to kind of land an introduction and connection with one of these successful innovators. And we're actually, I would say we're friends, because we're part of a group of industry leaders that meets almost once a month and have had many great experiences and conversations. So he's been such a resource to me, and I think we're gonna learn a lot here today in the next 20 minutes.
Thanks, Ruth.
All right, so we just heard these 7-minute pitches, but Brent, now that you've done this so many times, you have years under your belt of pitching. Give us the 1-minute pitch for Visibly.
So, is this on? Do you hear it?
How's that? There we go. So Visibly is a B2B software program in the optical industry. Who wears contacts and glasses here? All right, a lot of people do. Matter of fact, 80% of you will at some point in your life. What Visibly does is it gives you the opportunity to test your vision at home It's an online vision test. It's self-administered, and you use your smartphone or use your smartphone that's connected to your laptop. Takes you about 5 to 7 minutes. We show you a series of optotypes, and we determine how well you're seeing. So we tell you if you're 2016, we tell you if you're 2020, we tell you if you're 2025. All the results of the test are always sent to an optometrist or ophthalmologist, depending on which state you live in. So if you're in Illinois, goes to an OD, goes to an ophthalmologist, and they determine, well, they practice medicine. They determine how well you're seeing. They can say, hey, here's a renewed prescription, because if you wear contact lenses, you know you have to have a renewed prescription once a year. And it costs the consumer anywhere from $20 to $25 to do this. So it's a technology that creates greater access for those folks that have contacts and glasses.
And so now we got your 1-minute pitch, so we know what Visibly is. And now tell us a little bit about your origin story. I think you have a very unique background. Some of us in this room actually share this background of having worked at big Fortune 500 companies, big institutions that have great processes and systems, and then the startup world where you might be lower on resources and a little bit scrappier, but also more creative and innovative in the way that you're testing products. So tell us about that unique background that you have, how it's benefited you, and your origin story leading to your time at Visibly.
Yeah, so I started my career, I grew up in the middle of Michigan, and when I went to college in Michigan, and back 30 years ago, you had two choices. You moved to Detroit or Chicago. I made the right choice. I moved here, even though I still root for all the Detroit teams. And I worked for Xerox, and it was awesome because it taught me discipline, it taught me work ethic, it taught me how to dress, it taught me a lot about the business world. So I worked there for 10 years, and I actually got promoted back to Detroit, ironically enough. But I'd met this girl in Chicago, and she said, "Hey, you want to live in Chicago or Detroit?" And it wasn't a very difficult question to answer. I knew what the answer was. I said, "I want to live in Chicago." She goes, "I found the greatest job for you." She said, "It's at this company called Career Builder." I'm like, "I've never heard of Career Builder. What do they do?" She said, "It's like Monster, but they're a lot smaller." And I'm like, "Yeah." So 3 weeks later, I was actually working at Career Builder. So I was the head of sales at Career Builder back in 2000. We were a company that was $10 million. We had about 40 employees. We were basically in the Midwest. And what we did is we helped people find jobs by using the internet instead of the print classifieds. Ken over here is saying, "What's the print classifieds?" That's a newspaper that used to have jobs in the newspaper. And so at Career Builder, the biggest takeaway was at Xerox, I was told how we would do something. I was told how I would sell. At Career Builder, I came in and I asked our CEO, I'm like, "How do I do a performance appraisal for the folks here?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "A performance appraisal, how they did it on their work." He said, "I don't know, just make it up." So I was able to make up everything. So I took everything off the labels off of Xerox and just put Career Builder there, and that became all of our stuff. I was able to do things and try things that I never was able to try at Xerox, and it was a blast. Now, the market helped us. Monster spending $250 million a year in marketing. Super Bowl commercials helped us. But within 6 years, we became the global leader in online recruitment. We passed Monster in 6 years. And we grew from $15 million to $800 million. And it was a blast because we just hired a bunch of entrepreneurs. Like, there's no policies here. You got to figure it out yourself. You got to work hard, and if you don't, you can't work here. And I mean, it just became a different cultural aspect, and I loved it. I just loved the freedom that we had. And we were owned by newspaper companies. The Tribune, we can probably see the Tribune Tower if we lean out far enough. Gannett, which is the largest newspaper company in the United States, and Knight Ridder at the time, which is based in California. We were so weird to them, they just left us alone, right? You online guys, just do your own thing. And so it became fun. And so I left in 2014. There was this little thing called LinkedIn that was going to destroy Career Builder. And, by the way, it did. Career Builder sold, by the way, for $800 million. So I thought that's successful. That's a great move. LinkedIn sold for $26 billion to Microsoft. So that gives you some. We just missed the mark by $25 billion. But as I started investing in different companies in Chicagoland, and I've been in Chicago for 30 years, and I love the Chicago ecosystem, there was a company called Visibly, or Opternative, that I invested in. It's now called Visibly. One of the venture guys here in Chicago said, Brent, why don't you run this company? And I said, I know nothing about the optical industry. I have 2 eyes, I know that. I had LASIK, I know that. I know nothing else. Don't worry, there's an optometrist that founded the company. He sits next to you, you'll be fine. And so that's how I got into Visibly, is because I was part of the tech ecosystem here, and I've been here 8 years now, and it's been a lot of fun.
Fantastic. I think that it really shows the span of experiences and knowledge and also operational know-how, having seen that mature place, but also having the courage to just figure out what to do when there's not a process in place, and just learning and iterating from there. And then you talked about walking in not really knowing very much about the vision care space. So, share for everyone here, and again, there's a lot of people online, what makes the vision care space so interesting and different within healthcare? And also, why is telehealth and virtual screening so spicy in this industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a loaded question. I don't know, you set me up for that one. So I've never seen an industry that is so resistant to change in my life, right? We've done things the same way. You call your optometrist, you get an appointment 5 months out, or whatever the case may be. You go in, you get a comprehensive eye exam, you get your contacts, your glasses, you go home, right? And it's been that way forever, since the Stone Age. Well, we can today do telehealth we do mental health through telehealth. We do, hey, I've got a rash on my arm, through telehealth. Why can't we do optometry through telehealth? Why is there so much resistance to it? There is, and there was. COVID helped. But the reality is, people said, that the legislative body said, you have to have a comprehensive eye exam once every year. There are 250 million people in the United States that should go get a comprehensive eye exam every single year. What percentage of them actually do? Does anyone have any idea? Out of the 250 million. I'll give you the answer. 150 million people last year skipped their annual eye exam. So why not have technologies, telehealth, telemedicine, at-home testing to screen, to test more often, instead of me going to the optometrist once every 5 years, right? We're providing greater access. There's 24% of the counties in the United States don't have an optometrist. So why not use tools? Somebody gave the example of the gentleman that went blind in the one eye. What if he would have screened once every 6 months instead of skipping the annual eye exam or the comprehensive eye exam? This is what we do at Visibly, is not a replacement for a comprehensive eye exam. It's not even close. But every single time you take our test, the results go to a medical professional. So if you're failing the test all the time, or you're not seeing very well, and you test yourself, the answer is you need to make an appointment. You need to come see us. There could be something wrong. We don't know what's wrong, but there could be something wrong. And so these technologies, COVID has helped, Ruth, are more and more accepted, more and more used. The reality is, I go to the forum groups that Ruth is in, and I go to a lot of these innovative summits, and people are like, oh, Visibly, that's kind of like, ooh, that's a technology that I'm not sure we're going to use. Well, 80% of the companies that actually use this, we just don't say it out loud. And everything we do is white labeled, so people don't even know it's us. So it is more accepted now, but it took a long time to get here.
I think what you're pointing to, and the only reason why I can let Brent say that, I mean, yes, vision care is pretty kind of cruising along for many years as it was meeting a need. And I think, like every industry out there, there are now some winds of change and some new opportunities, especially with the startups and what they were talking about here. But I let Brent say that because I know that he has brought a special mixture, and I think an effective mixture, of both working through the industry while also pushing the industry. So what, Brent, have you done that's propelled Visibly by both working with while pushing, which is a hard line to straddle?
The two things that I think that come to mind is, the one thing is we went out and found customers partners, if you will, that will give us information back, right? So, hey, we're going to let you use our product. We might not even charge for it, but will you give us information back so we can refine the technology all the time and make sure it's world class and it meets the standard of care? The other thing is, I went to the regulatory bodies. I have a quarterly meeting with the AOA, and that's the American Optometric Association, which is the regulatory body that was against us. Like, hey, this is going to hurt our profession. We've never once taken an optometrist's job, but that was the perception. And I said, here are the things we're working on. What do you think about these things? We just created a product, which we'll release in 2 weeks, that is OD-centric, or optometry-centric. Only an optometrist would use it. A consumer would not use it. So the partnerships with the businesses, we didn't take any of the initial venture money from strategics. It all came from the venture community in Chicagoland, which I think was a good move because we didn't have to do any exclusive deals. We weren't beholden to any one customer, but we found a couple that actually gave us a lot of data back, and we learned a lot from them.
And now specifically, what advice would you have for entrepreneurs who are trying to navigate the vision care industry?
It's really hard, okay? But I would find those partners that can help you learn about yourselves, really refine the product. The other thing that I would do is, and I see this a lot in this industry, like I was listening to your 5 presentations today, there's overlap amongst what you guys are doing. Why can't we collaborate more? Why can't we share more technology, especially from technology perspective, so that we're not, one of you came up to me and said, hey, we'd really like use your product inside our product. I'm like, yeah, we would like that too. So that's important. And the other thing is, the industry for the most part always starts with the doctor. Like, here's what the doctor would like. At Visibly, the doctor is always at the center of everything we do. But we don't develop products for the doctor, we develop products for the consumer. So if the consumer loves the product and our customer satisfaction NPS ratings are through the roof, the doctors will eventually adopt or use or try to use these technologies. So we start more of the Amazon model, like what's great for the consumer, what the patient really, greater access, like I said, you don't have to buy anything from Visibly. There's no hardware required. You just use your smartphone. You put it 10 feet away from you, and we can test you. So starting more with the consumer, I think, will help in terms of learning a lot more data about your company as well.
Yeah, it sounds like you're normalizing the consumer. You're normalizing talking about the consumer and the patient when sometimes they don't get enough airtime. There are a lot of people here who are invested and trying to move this industry forward. We have members of the Global Innovation Center team. We have Kite here, who's a platform for helping track and move those startups forward. We have TopCon here, one of our partners. There are a lot of people online as well who are really invested in moving the industry forward. So as an entrepreneur who's been in this space for a while, what is your call to action for all these groups? What more could they do that, from your point of view, to help move the industry forward?
Yeah, I think what you do, Ruth. I think what you do every day is really crucial to the success and the emergence of new technologies in the space. I work with probably 100 US companies right now that use our vision testing platform. I have a hard time finding another Ruth. I know Ruth because she's a friend of mine. She's in my executive forum group. I respect her. She's innovative. But if I go to a lot of our customers and say, who's your head of innovation? Who's your person who's really head of technology? Well, what do you mean, Brent? I'm like, well, who's looking at new things all the time? And I'm not throwing the entire industry into the bus. There are people that are out there, but there's not enough. So there's very little collaboration amongst the industry about how can we move this forward? How can we bring these technologies together? Hey, I just had a presentation from these guys, and I had a presentation recently with another innovation forum. How do we bring the folks together? The one thing that helped me out, Ruth, tremendously, and this is how we met, is I met this guy named Bart Foster 7 years ago. And Bart goes, I'm going to have an optical innovation summit in Boulder. Would you come? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go. And I met our 2 largest customers there, 3 of our investors there, And it accelerated our business. And then people realized, oh, Brent's not weird. He's not from this weird company. Visibly's not that weird. It's just a testing platform.
Spicy, not weird.
It's spicy, sometimes spicy. But at the end of the day, it's really a mainstream technology that maybe got off to a rough start. Mainstream technology that has an FDA approval, the only FDA approval in the entire industry when it comes to at-home online vision testing. So that stuff, the more collaboration just has to happen.
So the other learning here is normalize innovation. Okay. And I think that's right. You know, there's a difference when you're sitting not just across a table, but side by side with someone who speaks the same language and can kind of translate what's happening in a large industry or organization with the startup and what they're trying to achieve, and likewise, you know, translate the often good intentions of a startup who just sees an opportunity, might see an area that can be tested that will take longer and more buy-in for a large organization to get after starting to learn about. And I know you're an avid reader of our futurist reports, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to be a futurist. Kind of two-part question. What excites you most about the future of this industry, and do you have any predictions for us?
Yeah, I think that what excites me is that I've been in the industry 8 years. I know a ton of people in the industry now. It is easier for me. There is more innovation. There's more questions being asked, which I think is a great thing. There's more folks like yourselves coming to the table with great ideas. And I think people are understanding that, well, how did Warby Parker get to where they got to? How did 1-800 get to where they are? What can I do that's different or create different revenue streams inside of our organization that's not traditional, that hasn't been part of our past? And the other thing that really excites me is the phone. I'm not kidding. So the more the smartphone, can't get it out of my pocket, the more the smartphone, the technology improves in the smartphone, the camera, we're talking about cameras, right? Today we send a picture of the eye. You take a vision test, we take a picture of your eye, but what if we could take a picture of the back of your eye? We could identify some of those diseases. Today we just said, oh, it looks red, it's probably dry. Well, okay, those are conditions, but what if we could see more and provide that picture electronically to a doctor? I might live in the middle of South Dakota and I might have to drive 100 miles to see an optometrist. What if I can do it from my house? So the technology and the smartphones and the mobile devices, as they improve and continue to get better, I think it's going to help our business, our industry a lot.
Yeah, I think, as I said, we wanted to bring Brent up here, again, because he straddles that line so well that's needed in an industry that's been helping people see for many, many years and needs partners to help test, help iterate, help meet new needs of patients. And so the fact that he's a little bit further, maybe a lot further in his journey from some of these companies, and again, straddles that line between pushing the industry and also working together with the industry is really what's going to work to make a change here. So again, at the Global Innovation Center, we are excited about lifting up innovators, bringing them a voice, connecting with them. They're learning on behalf of all of us, and we at the Global Innovation Center are learning on behalf of all the providers and members and others within our industry. So I hope you'll follow us on LinkedIn, follow us through our Futurist reports, because we'll continue learning on your behalf. So thank you very much again, Brent, and hopefully get the chance to meet him
Thanks,
and
Ruth.
ask more questions.
Is this on? Great. So now we are going to do the People's Choice Awards while the judges are back deliberating who their choices will be. Please use a QR code, take out your phone, take a picture, and vote for yourself who you would like to be your nominee for the People's Choice Awards. With the People's Choice Awards is going to be a $5,000 prize, as well as 1 year of mentorship into the Matter Accelerator. And then we're going to give about 2 minutes to be able to decide, and then I'm going to call over the judges to come back when we're done so that we can make all of the announcements at once. All right, it seems the voting is done, and Will is literally running up to be able to provide the announcements. I do not.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. Do we have a clicker? Perfect. Okay, so thank you all again for joining us. Thank you to the hundreds watching on the live stream. Thank you to our fireside chat. I ran like 5 feet and I'm losing my breath. I gotta work on, I have to work on that. It wasn't even a run, it was like a shuffle to the stage. So before we get to the winners, we have a couple asks. So what we wanted to share with you today were companies that were representative of key trends and innovations that we're seeing advance vision care. And that's why we saw such a diverse set of problems and solutions. So our asks of you today, watching and here with us, share what you learned. Our objective for the audience was to expand your thinking on this industry and its future, to engage with post-event amplification. You're going to see a news release come out on Monday. You're gonna see social. You're gonna see us make a lot of noise about this. Please comment, engage, share it. Please check out our latest Futurist report, the Future Census, which we shared a little earlier. Engage with material and intelligence from the Global Innovation Center. We're gonna have a slide after this during the reception with 2 QR codes. We have a couple topics. We wanna bring vision innovation, not just to those who are interested, but to the broader community. So we have 2 panels live for the South by Southwest panel picker. Please take a picture with of those QR codes and vote. We would really appreciate it. Follow and subscribe. Follow us on LinkedIn. Subscribe to our new newsletter once a month. We're gonna come out with the latest news and updates from the world of vision innovation. And then the last, connect, collaborate. We have providers, investors, folks from schools of optometry, people from the industry here in this room. The way we connect and collaborate is the way we're gonna move it forward. So join us for the innovation reception here, and then join us after the reception. We'll head down to Marshall's Landing around 5 or 6. So incredibly hard job. It was interesting to be a fly on the wall with the judges going back and forth, seeing the audience voting. Again, thank you all to the finalists today for joining us. The winner of the inaugural VSP Vision Innovation Challenge, first prize, $10,000 in a year's membership, is ReVital Vision. Congratulations. Congratulations, ReVital Vision. Second place is Machine MD. Congratulations, Machine MD. At $5,000 in a year's membership with Matter. And then our Audience Choice Award winner, thank you all for getting your votes in, is Lens to Recycle. Congratulations, Lens to Recycle, $5,000 in a year's membership. Again, we look forward to continuing this conversation. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will talk soon. Thanks all.